I want to now discuss after skills. Sometimes we also want to understand what is your level of awareness about the job profile, company related things, the environment, the domain, the specific industry that we're talking about. So if you're applying to a software company for a finance position, we might just ask you, what do you know about our company, right? So you should be prepared to know something about their company and really understand it. Sometimes we might ask you, do you know about other companies who are in this space? Something like that. So that gives us an idea about what you know, what you don't know. So it's important that you cultivate your worldly awareness, because you don't know what question will be asked, but try to answer it to the best of your ability, right? So if you do not know, let's say for example he was applying to Infosys, and he's asked the question, do you know of other companies who are similar to Infosys?
Yes.
So actually Infosys is in the IT services space, so there are only some companies. So you might say, I know some other software companies, I don't know whether they're exactly like Infosys, but let me mention them to you. So what happens is, he may not know exactly Infosys' competition. Maybe Infosys says, tell me our competition, which will be Wipro or TCS. Yes. But what he might do is, he might say, since he doesn't know the answer, well, I don't know the exact competition, but I can at least tell you some other companies, software companies who might be their competition. And he might give the information. And it might be wrong, but what he's doing, he's trying his best at that time. Okay? So it's important to have a good idea about the company, about the job profile. So we might say something like, have you understood the job profile? Do you know what you're here for? Something like that. So they will try to explain it in their own words, because maybe the person who's being interviewed would have gone through a company, a consultant, or through a referral of a friend, whoever it is. So that time you should ask, hey, what is the job profile? Please explain it to me. So then you will explain that during the interview. Then again we want to see your understanding of yourself and about the world. So we might ask something like, why do you think you fit this profile? Isn't it?
Yes.
Now the good thing is, since you before only have tried to understand your strengths and improvement areas,
yes,
and you also tried to understand the job profile, you also were trying to see whether you matched the job profile. Remember we did that earlier? So what is the big deal? You will just answer. You will say, I think these are the things that I like about myself and I'm good at, and I see that in the job profile this is required.
Yes.
So therefore I feel I'm a good fit. End of story. Okay? So this is another possibility. But again, it's a combination of knowing whether you understand about the world and about your awareness about the company and other things. Let me see what else we need to cover. Yeah, sometimes what they might do, I think we've already discussed this in another way, that it's important for you to know your goals and other things.
Yes.
The funny thing is, they are going to ask you that, so that they know more about your attitude, right? So they might ask you different questions which you already have heard in the previous segment for a different reason, which was to know yourself. So they might ask you what your goals are. Since you already have tried to learn about yourself, no difficulty, you can answer that. Who is your role model? We already covered that. A couple of other ones would be, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? We discussed that also. Another one could be, we didn't cover this earlier, but this is often asked, and I think it has a lot of meaning, Tell me one incident in your life that had a big impact on you.
Yes.
So sometimes there's no right or wrong answer. Whatever it is, we understand more about you. Okay? Now if you have two incidents that come in your mind, make sure you give the one which is more positive. Because see, a lot of incidents affect us. And it is nothing wrong if you remember a negative incident. But make sure that you end it with something in a positive note. Well, the biggest incident that happened in my life is when I got into an accident. And it took me a lot of time to recover, but at the end of it I did. That was the biggest incident. That's fine. Rather than that, see, everybody when they have some problem, there's a lot of struggle. You cannot in that 2 minutes of the interview try to cover all that. And we don't want to, So, I'll give you a very good example which will happen to persons with disability. When did you lose when you started losing your vision? Was it a while back or recently, or when was that?
No, it was since birth, but I lose much of my vision in 2002.
2002. So now what will happen is, let us say, I know you didn't answer this for me, Vishal, but let's say you actually felt the biggest incident on your life which had an impact was when you were losing your vision.
Yes.
Correct or not? See, you cannot summarize your feelings, your problems, and sit and tell, in chronological order what happened in the last 4 years. Do you agree?
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong in mentioning that you had a struggle.
Yes.
So you might say, that the biggest incident in life was when you started losing your vision. Okay? And you can So what did you go through, for example? You went through some depression, some
Yeah,
pain,
yeah.
you didn't know where your life was going, correct or not? So all that can be summarized in one statement. Finish it off there. What did you do after that? You must have found out some information.
Yes.
Summarize that in 2-3 statements. What did you do after that? That's it. You know, so just end it in a positive note, because everybody has a lot of pain and suffering, and in the interview is not the time. These are not your family or your friends or somebody who's saying, "Hey, tera dil ki baat bol de. Tell me, Vishal."
Yes,
Yes. He's not your counselor. The person who's your interviewer is not your psychiatric evaluator, right? They're here to find out if you're right for the job. So this is not the time for you to give, to tell all your sad stories. There are times for it, and right or not. And there's nothing sad, or everybody
Yes.
goes through some periods where
Yes.
there are the best of things don't happen to us, right? So he might say something like, the incident that has had most impact on me was when I was losing my vision. So it was obviously a difficult time, because you don't know what is happening, etc.
Yes.
etc. Went to a lot of doctors, did some things. At the end of it, once I realized that my vision was a problem, I tried to find out what I can do, how I can do it best, and after that, here I am for the interview. After
Yes.
4 years. See, so it's like that was an incident. It had impact. Now this person sees that and sees that, oh wait a minute, there was an issue, but he has come out of it positively. That's what we want. Now, so don't go and buy out something which is not true. Let's say you had a very painful incident and you have still not recovered. Then you can just say, this was the incident, and it still can be sometimes painful for me. That's it.
Yes,
You lost a friend. Okay, I lost a friend. It was very difficult at first. It still is difficult sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we really miss him a lot. He's a great person. That's it. But still, it's the way we say it. See, if you go on and be very emotional about it,
Yes.
nobody wants to hear it. If that happens, what it tells the interviewer is, this person is not able to control their emotions. I don't know how they do in the office. Now,
Yes.
let's understand one thing. Let's say that really is your nature. Don't worry about the interview. Try to see how you can start working on yourself and getting, not necessarily less emotional, but keeping your emotions in check, because we all have emotions, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So, again, focus is not on the interview, focus is on trying to
Yourself.
improve yourself. Okay?
Yes.
If you have not yet got bored in this video and turned this off, I will be surprised. But the theme is the same, because the message is a very powerful message and difficult one to do. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing. A couple of things that I want to mention is, sometimes we will also ask, because we need to understand your motivation. So we might ask, why are you interested in the job? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you want this job? There are so many jobs. You are an MBA. Why are you applying? Let's say, for example, you were to apply for an HR job, right?
Yeah.
And we were even thinking of doing
Yes,
this.
yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, why would you apply for an HR job, though you are from finance? Right? What is your answer for that? Your feeling. I think that's what I'm. Yeah.
My answer for that, I believe on words, action rather than words. And I have gone across to a very good 4 lines, which says that people don't remember what you did, people don't remember what you say, but people will remember how you make them feel. So that kind of person I am.
Okay.
That's why I am trying to do for the HR job.
Okay.
And I think that I justify that job if I get it.
Okay. So this is himself. Whatever he's feeling, he's saying it, and that's fine. Okay. So very often, as I told you before, there are 2-3 job profiles that might suit you based on your skills. So, for example, if he were to apply for HR, because he's more numbers driven, maybe he will be good for the recruitment part or something like that.
Yes.
Correct or not? So again, he should match the profile and say why he is suitable for the job with respect to what you know
Yes.
about yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is what you did just now. Okay. Then one of the other things that you should expect, that they will ask you what your salary expectations is. And very often we might say, give me anything you want. Actually, don't give me anything. Please, go and learn what the usual salaries are. Don't demand too high, don't demand too less. Try and understand where does the company fit. Because if you
Yes.
ask for too much or if you ask for too less, it's usually a problem. So, that also tells us how worldly you are. Maybe you can say, just give me whatever the freshers get or something like that. But still, it's important for you to know that figure. Because very often you will be pinpointed. You will be said, please, no, you have to commit and get the
Yes.
salary. That's very important. Okay. Now, the other point point. Well, let me just see here. Will ask you, okay, any questions? Yeah. Yes, this is a very important one. You know, very often in the end, everything is done. They'll say, I'm done with the interview. And then they will ask you, do you have any questions? This usually stumps the candidate. No, sir, no, sir. You know, because you're only interested in getting the job. So you're like, I don't want to ask anything more. I want to run out of this room. Okay. Why do you think the interviewer asks that question? What do we care about you?
Yeah.
Why do you have any questions? Why should I ask that as an interviewer? What do you think is the reason?
And the interviewer asks these questions, and it shows that whether you are really interested to be there or not, or you are just coming here to face another interview.
Correct. Absolutely. You know, because are you interested in really pursuing a career in this company, a job in this company?
Yes.
Because usually, if it's something of interest, you will ask many questions. No? How is this company? What is the growth? What is this? You know, we have a lot of questions. Or did you just turn up? Any interview, let me just go here, you know.
Yes.
But such a person, if they're not interested so much in a job, they'll not do it well. So it's a question of motivation, it's a question of your showing your initiative, etc. So you must ask questions only if you feel like it. And if you don't feel like asking questions, I think you need to start working on yourself and understanding your attitude. Are you not interested in a job? I think you should ask those questions. Do you want to sit at home? If you're interested in a job, don't you want to know more about it?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I might give you a different example. Let's say your brother is, got a job in a company. What is the first thing you'll do? You'll say, hey, which company? How big is the company? How many people are there? What is the salary you're getting? What is the kind of work you're going to do? See how much excitement you have. And you're not showing the same thing for your own job. Please don't get a job. That's it. Okay? So what are the questions you might ask? Nothing wrong if you ask about your salary, if they didn't, or it could be growth or whatever. But don't ask the first question as salary. You know, it looks like as if you're only interested in money, which is very important. Nothing wrong in wanting money. Okay? But that's not the first question you should ask. I would say it's a no-no. Okay? So maybe if you're interested in knowing about your career, you can ask. If you want to know more about the job profile, you can ask. If you want to know about what kind of growth the company is planning to have, ask that. Whatever you feel like, let it be your question. We are not going to tell you what to ask. But be curious. Have a good attitude, you know, and, make the best out of that time period. Now, specific point about disability. If the interviewer did not ask you anything about your disability, you ask the question. The reason is sometimes the interviewer is very shy to ask. The interviewer is usually not shy, isn't it? But regarding disability, they feel sometimes, maybe since it's that person's disability, if I ask, will they feel bad? What you do by, asking the interviewer, sir or madam, do you have any questions regarding my disability? Here is my FAQ. Remember, I told you all to make an FAQ.
Yes.
Here's my FAQ. You can look at it. But if you have any questions regarding my disability, because I know I'm right for the job from my point of view, and I know how I will do the work. You know, when I'm in a meeting, I will use Braille since I'm visually impaired. Since I'm hearing impaired, I will use sign. Whatever, you might say that. So you ask them clearly if you have any doubts or if you have any questions regarding my vision impairment, hearing impairment, physical disability, whatever it is. This will help the interviewer to open up and ask you the questions, because when they don't have any doubt, the chances are that if you're past the interview otherwise, the disability will not come in the way of you getting the job, right? And if they have any doubts and you don't know, they might say, how would you do this particular thing? And you may not have thought of it. So you might try and think on the spot, I would use this, otherwise you can mention that, let me come back to you on that. But definitely there's no question of it, there will be a way. And please contact, the right NGO, the right friends, network of people, whatever it is, look on the internet, get the solution and get back to them immediately. Okay, that's very critical. So don't forget that important point.